Hello, my name's Tim Humphries and I attended the launch of the BBC Two TV series Pilgrimage. It's back on our screens this Easter 2025. Now, this three-part series sees 7 celebrities of differing religious faiths and beliefs tackle a 300-kilometre trek through the Austrian and Swiss Alps. Now, one of them is comedian Helen Lederer. As well as starring in hit TV sitcoms through the years like Absolutely Fabulous, she also has close personal links to the armed forces, as her family played key roles in the Second World War. Well, I met her and I started by asking about the role that humour plays in this pilgrimage.
Because it was something I'd never done before, and being of a certain age, you do draw on your life experience, and because humour has sustained me, you know you're going to be with 6 people you've never met before in an intense environment where you're going to talk about faith, you're going to be walking, you're away from anything you know. So I just think humour connects you so that when, God forbid, there are irritations or heightened moments, you can go, you know what, this is quite funny, really. And then that joyous moment that breaks the tension, and that's the payoff. And I think that's why humour is so important. It just makes you feel fine about normal stuff.
We've seen you over the years with French and Saunders in ensemble pieces. We've seen you on Ab Fab as well, but also solo, up on stage on your own as a stand-up. What feeling did you glean from that camaraderie there that you touched on from the group?
I think that having a life as a stand-up comedian is quite a solo life, but so that it's quite a frightening life, but also that's your terrain. I'm attracted to danger, so I'm attracted to the unknown. Again, just finding the absurd moments, just the joy. You just go, we're laughing or we're singing, or how often do you get that opportunity? So I was so grateful to be placed with people for 2 weeks where you could learn so much about yourself and other people.
There were, though, also those poignant moments on the trip as well. And I know that your family's history played into some of the stories that we'll see on the series. Just tell us a little bit more about that and some of those moments.
Because I am a mixed heritage representative in the group, because the purpose of the programme is to largely bring people of faiths of some kind. And I was conflicted, thinking I'm not a practicing Jewish person. My father and my grandparents came here because they had to leave Czechoslovakia, being cultural Jews. So I have that in my past, although I don't have that in my present. But it was about being able to really feel their experience, but in a community of other people, of modern thought, of modern words, of wanting to talk to each other about different faiths, and the opportunities to share faiths was so important, never more important than now in a way, but being careful about the words you choose and being respectful, but also not shying away from my past as I have in the past.
And am I right in thinking that you visited a concentration camp as well along the way?
A documentary a few years ago was made where I was introduced to the fact that my grandfather, unbeknownst to me, was a secret listener. He'd been hired by MI9 in the war because he was a Czechoslovakian emigre to eavesdrop on German prisoners of war at Trent Park, of which I'm now a trustee. So that's a whole story there. But I also knew through hearsay from my grandmother that the Lederers, a lot of their family had been in Auschwitz and Theresienstadt. So when we were in Austria, we were near Munchausen, we were near the Mauthausen concentration camp. It surprised me that you would think about your own family, as did so many of us from different faiths, think about how their family had informed them, whether it was directly or indirectly. So it's finding a new way of talking about inheriting this past and how do we make sense of it now, and being genuinely sad about the past.
In this programme, we saw people coming together from lots of different walks of life, lots of different faiths and ideologies. What will you take from that experience into your life and work?
What I'm going to take away from this experience, I never thought it would give me friendship, thought. I've become paradoxically more tolerant of people who I wouldn't normally spend time with. And you go, they were on their journey. So to be enforced with 6 other people, it's taught me that everyone has a different journey, they have a different background, they have every right to playing their part. But secretly, I just relish the ones that make me laugh, and I'm just going to own that.